hope you enjoy the story. Let's begin. Adam Harwood's boots dragged across the gravel parking lot of Bishop Falls Steelworks as the midnight shift ended. His shoulders ached from 12 hours of labor, but a small smile crossed his weathered face. No matter how brutal the work, home awaited. Caleb awaited. 20 minutes later, Adam pulled into the driveway of their modest two-story home. The porch light glowed warm against the darkness. "Dad!" Caleb's voice carried through the house as the front door closed behind Adam. The 9-year-old launched himself from the couch, colliding with his father's legs in a fierce hug. Adam's exhaustion melted away as he ruffled his son's hair. "Hey, buddy. Up early today. Mom said I could watch TV before school." Caleb's eyes sparkled with mischief. "I made my own breakfast." "Did you now?" Adam glanced toward the kitchen, noting the cereal box left open on the counter and milk puddle not quite wiped up. "Good job. Where's your mom?" Caleb's smile dimmed slightly. "Still sleeping, I think. She said she had a headache last night." Adam nodded, unsurprised. Lydia's headaches had become more frequent lately. "Go get your backpack ready for school. I'll drive you today." As Caleb thundered up the stairs, Adam made his way to the master bedroom. The door was closed. He opened it quietly to find Lydia buried under blankets, her back to the door. "Whitey, I'm home." She stirred, turning to face him with sleepy eyes that never quite met his. "What time is it?" "Almost 7:30. I'm taking Caleb to school." She nodded, already closing her eyes again. "Thanks. I barely slept." Adam stood in the doorway a moment longer. 5 years ago, she would have asked about his shift. 2 years ago, she might have at least sat up to talk. Now, the distance between them stretched wider than the 4 feet of carpet between the door and their bed. The drive to Caleb's elementary school took them past Main Street, where Bishop Falls tried its hardest to look like a thriving community instead of a town slowly bleeding out as younger people left for Portland or Seattle. They pulled into Nelson's Bakery, a small shop with a faded blue awning. Inside, Rachel Pike stood behind the counter in her waitress uniform, clearly stopping in before her shift at the diner across the street. "Morning, Adam." "Hey there, Caleb." Her smile was genuine, crinkling the corners of her eyes. "Breakfast before school, 2 chocolate donuts," Adam said, returning her smile. Rachel was Marlene Pike's younger sister, but the two couldn't be more different. Where Marlene was sharp edges and bitter comments, Rachel had a softness to her that seemed out of place in Bishop Falls. As they returned to the truck, Adam noticed his brother's black SUV parked outside the hardware store. Trent leaned against it, talking on his phone. Trent spotted them and waved, ending his call. "Well, look who it is." Trent approached with arms outstretched. "My favorite nephew." Caleb high-fived his uncle, while Adam nodded a greeting. "You're up early. Some of us work normal hours, little brother." Trent clapped Adam on the shoulder, his grip slightly too firm. "Not all of us are nocturnal. Some of us work, period," Adam replied evenly. Trent's consulting business had always seemed more talk than substance. Trent's smile tightened. "Ouch. Touchy this morning." He crouched to Caleb's level. "Your dad needs more sleep, huh, buddy?" "Dad's taking me to school," Caleb announced, chocolate already smeared at the corner of his mouth. "Is that right? Where's Lydia?" "Not feeling well," Adam said flatly. "We should get going." "Caleb, say goodbye to your uncle." "Bye, Uncle Trent." Caleb waved as Adam guided him back to the truck. "Give him all my best," Trent called after them. "Tell her I'll check in later." Adam's jaw tightened as he started the engine. Something in Trent's tone set off warning bells, but he pushed the thought aside. Adam woke to an empty bed. The clock read 3:17 p.m. He dressed quickly and headed downstairs to find Lydia at the kitchen table, scrolling through her phone. She wore makeup and a blouse he didn't recognize, too formal for a regular day at home. "Going somewhere?" he asked, pouring coffee from the pot she'd made. "Just meeting Marlene for coffee." She didn't look up from her phone. "I picked up Caleb already. He's playing at the Thompsons until dinner." Adam nodded, trying to ignore the subtle wall between them. "I'm off tonight. Thought we could do something as a family." Now she did look up, surprise crossing her features. "Oh, I told Marlene I'd help her with something after coffee. It might take a while. On a school night." Lydia's expression hardened. "It's important to her. More important than spending time with your family. That's not fair, Adam. She stood, gathering her purse. You work nights all the time. When you're home, you're either sleeping or spending time with Caleb. And that bothers you? That I spend time with our son. What bothers me is that you act like I'm the problem. Her voice rose, like I'm the one keeping us trapped in this dead-end town where nothing ever changes. Adam set his mug down carefully. I never said. You don't have to say it. I see it every time you look at me. She grabbed her keys. I'm going out. Don't wait up. The door slammed behind her. Adam stood in the kitchen, coffee forgotten, wondering when conversations with his wife had become landmines. His phone buzzed. A text from Mike at the mill. Need extra hands tonight. Double overtime. Interested? Adam stared at the message. With Lydia gone and Caleb at a friend's, the house would be empty anyway. He texted back. I'll be there at 8. Least at the mill. His worth was measured in sweat and steel, straightforward, uncomplicated. Unlike home, where everything he did seemed to be the wrong thing lately. A week passed with the tension in the house growing denser by the day. Adam worked back-to-back night shifts, coming home only to sleep and spend what time he could with Caleb. Lydia floated through the house like a ghost, there but not present, always on her way somewhere else. Sunday morning, Adam sat at the kitchen table helping Caleb with homework while Lydia prepared for yet another meeting with Marlene. You're spending a lot of time with Marlene lately, Adam observed as she applied lipstick using a compact mirror. She's going through a rough patch. Lydia didn't elaborate. The front door opened without warning, and Trent walked in as if he owned the place. Morning, family. He carried a bakery box in one hand. Brought breakfast. Uncle Trent. Caleb abandoned his homework to investigate the treats. Adam's jaw tightened. Most people knock. Since when am I most people? Trent grinned, setting the box on the counter. Lydia said I should stop by. Adam glanced at his wife, who suddenly seemed very interested in her purse. Did she? He's giving me a ride to Marlene's. Lydia explained, not meeting Adam's eyes. My car's making that noise again. I could have taken you. You're helping Caleb with homework, she said, as if it were obvious. Besides, Trent was coming this way. Trent opened the box, revealing donuts from Nelson's. Got your favorite, little man. Chocolate with sprinkles. Yes. Caleb reached for one, then looked at Adam. Can I, Dad? Adam nodded, though his appetite had disappeared. Go ahead. Adam headed to the back porch, needing air. Through the kitchen window, he watched Trent lean against the counter, saying something that made Lydia laugh, a genuine laugh he hadn't heard from her in months. Trent's hand brushed her arm casually, lingering a moment too long. Dad! Caleb appeared at the door, chocolate smeared across his cheek. Are you mad at Uncle Trent? Adam crouched to his son's level. No, buddy. Why would you think that? Caleb shrugged. You looked angry when he came in. I'm just tired from work. Adam wiped the chocolate from Caleb's face. Go finish your homework. Okay. Caleb nodded, but didn't move. I saw Uncle Trent and Mom being weird yesterday. Adam's blood chilled. Weird how? They were talking in the kitchen when I came home from Jason's house. Mom was crying, and Uncle Trent was hugging her. When they saw me, they jumped apart really fast. Adam forced his voice to remain calm. What were they saying? I don't know. Mom just said Uncle Trent was helping her with something. Caleb frowned. Is Mom okay? I'm sure she's fine. Adam ruffled his son's hair. Sometimes grown-ups have problems they need help with. Once Caleb was gone, Adam leaned against the porch railing, his mind racing. It could be nothing. Lydia could be confiding in Trent about her unhappiness. God knows she wouldn't talk to Adam about it. Or it could be something worse. When Adam returned inside, Lydia and Trent were already leaving. We won't be long, Lydia called over her shoulder. Just gonna help Marlene with some things. Need anything while we're out, brother? Trent's smile didn't reach his eyes. Just for you to bring my wife back at a reasonable hour, Adam replied, matching his brother's false cheerfulness. Trent's smile slipped for a fraction of a second. Always so possessive, Adam. Lydia is capable of managing her own time. Before Adam could respond, they were gone. The house felt suddenly hollow, the space between him and his family expanding like a black hole. That night, after Caleb was asleep, Adam sat in the dark living room. Lydia had returned just before dinner, alone. Trent had other plans, she'd explained. Throughout the evening, she'd been distracted, checking her phone constantly. Now she sat across from him, the television casting blue shadows across her face. Neither spoke, the silence deafening. Caleb said something interesting today, Adam finally said. Her eyes flicked to him, then back to the TV. He said he saw you and Trent yesterday. Said you were crying. Lydia's shoulders stiffened. He shouldn't have been sneaking around. He wasn't sneaking. He came home and found his mother crying while his uncle held her. Adam leaned forward. Want to tell me what that was about? She sighed, muting the television. I was upset about work. Trent stopped by to borrow something, and I vented to him. That's all. You could vent to me. Could I? Her eyes met his, challenging. When would that happen, Adam? During the few hours you're awake between shifts? Or the time you spend with Caleb? Don't put this on me. You're the one who's never home anymore. Because there's nothing for me here. The words exploded from her. This house, this town, it's suffocating me. Adam stared at her. The truth finally laid bare. And what about your family? Are we suffocating you too? She looked away. That's not what I meant. Then what did you mean? She ran a hand through her hair. I need more than this, Adam. I'm drowning in small-town life while you seem perfectly content to work yourself to death at that mill. I work to provide for us, Adam said quietly. For you and Caleb. And I appreciate that. I do. Her voice softened. But I want more than just surviving. Don't you want that too? For a moment, Adam saw a glimpse of the woman he'd fallen in love with, passionate, ambitious. But the memory of her with Trent clouded his thoughts. I want us to be honest with each other, he said finally. Whatever's happening, we can fix it if we're honest. Something flickered in her eyes. Guilt? Fear? Then it was gone. There's nothing to fix, Adam. I'm just restless. She stood. I'm going to bed. Adam watched her go, the distance between them wider than ever. Whatever truth she was hiding, he wouldn't find it tonight. 2 weeks passed with an uneasy truce in the Harwood home. Adam tried to engage Lydia, suggesting date nights and family outings, but she always had an excuse. Too tired, too busy, plans with Marlene, work commitments. Trent appeared more frequently, always with a reason. Borrowing tools, dropping off mail that came to their parents' old address, checking on Caleb. Adam watched them carefully, noting the looks that passed between his wife and brother when they thought he wasn't paying attention. But on a Tuesday night, Adam arrived at the mill for his shift to find his supervisor waiting. Got a call from HR, Mike said, frowning. They need you to come in tomorrow morning to discuss something. They wouldn't tell me what. Adam's stomach sank. Layoffs had been rumored for months. Did anyone else get called in? Mike shook his head. Just you, far as I know. The entire shift, Adam's mind spun with worst-case scenarios. Without his job, how would they survive? Lydia's part-time work at the real estate office barely covered groceries. Their savings wouldn't last long. To be why the time his shift ended at 7 a.m., Adam was exhausted from stress as much as labor. He pulled into his driveway, surprised to find both Lydia's car and Trent's SUV gone. Usually Lydia would be getting Caleb ready for school by now. Inside, the house was silent. No cartoons playing. No cereal bowls in the sink. Lydia? Caleb? Adam called, climbing the stairs. Caleb's bedroom was empty, his bed unmade. Lydia's closet door stood open, drawers pulled out. Adam's pulse quickened as he called Lydia's cell. It went straight to voicemail. Next, he tried Trent. Same result. Panic rising, Adam dialed the elementary school. This is Adam Harwood, Caleb's father. Is he there today? Let me check, the secretary said. After a moment. No, he's marked absent. His mother called this morning, saying he was sick. Adam thanked her and hung up, his hands shaking. Were they? Had Lydia taken Caleb and run off with Trent? The pieces fell into a horrible place. Lydia's distance, Trent's constant presence, the secret meetings with Marlene that he was about to call Deputy Shane when his phone rang. Unknown number. Hello, is this Adam Harwood? A woman's voice, professional but gentle. Yes, this is Nurse Daniels from Bishop Falls Medical Center. We need you to come in right away. It's regarding your family. Adam's knees buckled. What happened? Are they okay? Sir, it's best if you come in person. Her voice softened. They're stable, but that's all I can say over the phone. The drive to the hospital passed in a blur. Adam parked haphazardly, sprinting through the automatic doors to the emergency department. "My family," he gasped to the receptionist. "Harwood, I got a call." She nodded gravely. "Have a seat. The doctor will be right with you." Adam couldn't sit. He paced the waiting room, heart hammering against his ribs. 3 ambulances had been parked outside. 3. "Mr. Harwood." A doctor in blue scrubs approached. "I'm Dr. Evans. Come with me, please." Adam followed, desperate for information. "My son is he." "Your son is stable." The doctor led him to a small consultation room. "He has a mild concussion and some bruising, but he'll recover fully." "And my wife?" "My brother." Dr. Evans gestured for Adam to sit. "They're both in more serious condition. Your wife has internal bleeding we're monitoring. Your brother has a severe head injury and broken ribs. We're transferring him to Portland for specialized care." "What happened?" "Their vehicle was found off County Road 16. It appears they crashed into a tree." The doctor hesitated. "The police are investigating." As if summoned, Deputy Shane Laurel appeared in the doorway. Tall and weathered, Shane had known the Harwoods for years. "Adam." Shane nodded solemnly. "Doc, give us a minute." Once the doctor left, Shane sat across from Adam. "Before you see them, there are things you need to know." Adam's blood ran cold. "What things?" Shane sighed, removing his hat. "We found some concerning items in the vehicle. A suitcase packed with Lydia's clothes. Caleb's backpack with several days' worth of clothes. Trent's laptop with search history for apartments in Seattle." He paused. "And a life insurance policy on you, taken out 3 months ago." Adam stared, uncomprehending. "What are you saying?" "I'm saying it looks like your wife and brother were planning to leave town with your son." Shane's eyes held a mixture of anger and pity. "But there's more. We found text messages on their phones. They were planning to stage an incident." "What kind of incident?" Shane's jaw tightened. "The kind that would paint you as abusive. Give Lydia grounds for full custody and a restraining order." The room tilted. Adam gripped the arms of his chair. "That's insane. I've never—" "I know." Shane placed a hand on Adam's shoulder. "Everyone who knows you knows that's bullshit. But they had it all planned out. Marlene Pike was going to testify she'd seen bruises on Lydia. They had fake photos." Adam's shock hardened into something cold and sharp. "How did they crash?" "That's the thing." Shane leaned closer. "Preliminary investigation shows the brakes were tampered with. We think Trent tried to stage the accident, but miscalculated. They were supposed to get minor injuries, blame you somehow. Instead, they hit that tree going 50 miles an hour." A knock at the door interrupted them. Dr. Evans returned, looking solemn. "Mr. Harwood, your son is asking for you." Adam stood on unsteady legs. "Take me to him." As he followed the doctor through sterile hallways, Adam's mind reeled. His wife, his brother, his own blood. They had plotted against him, planned to take his son, ruin his name. And for what? A fresh start somewhere else? Money from his life insurance? Outside Caleb's room, Dr. Evans stopped him. "He doesn't know about his mother or uncle's conditions. We thought it best coming from you." Adam nodded, struggling to compose himself before entering. Caleb lay small on the hospital bed, a bandage on his forehead. His eyes, so like Adam's own, widened at the sight of his father. "Dad!" His voice cracked. "Dad, I'm sorry." Adam was at his side instantly. "Sorry?" "Buddy, you have nothing to be sorry for." Tears spilled down Caleb's cheeks. "I didn't want to go with them. Mom said we were just going for ice cream with Uncle Trent, but they had our bags packed, and—" "Shoo!" Adam gathered his son in his arms, careful of the 4-line. "It's okay. You're safe now." "They were fighting when the car crashed," Caleb whispered. "Mom was yelling at Uncle Trent about the money not being enough. He was yelling back that she was greedy." He pulled back to look at Adam. "Are they going to be okay?" Adam stroked his son's hair, unsure how to answer. How do you tell a 9-year-old that his mother and uncle had planned to destroy his father's life? "They're hurt pretty bad," he said finally. "The doctors are taking care of them." "Is Mom going to die?" Caleb's voice was small. "No, buddy. She's not going to die." Adam held his son close, making a promise he wasn't sure he could keep. "But things are going to be different now. Can we go home?" Caleb asked, fear edging his voice. Soon, Adam pressed a kiss to his son's forehead. I need to check on Mom and Uncle Trent first. Will you be okay with the nurses for a little bit? Caleb nodded bravely. I'm not a baby. No, you're not. Adam managed a smile. You're the strongest kid I know. Outside Caleb's room, Shane waited. You ready to see them? Adam took a deep breath, steeling himself. As I'll ever be. Lydia's room was 3 doors down from Caleb's. Through the window, Adam could see her lying still, tubes and wires connecting her to various machines. Her face was bruised, a cut running along her jawline. She woke up about an hour ago, Shane said quietly. Doctors say she'll recover. Probably be released in a few days. Adam nodded, his hand on the door handle. And Trent, still unconscious. They're prepping him for transfer to Portland. Shane hesitated. Adam, I know this is hell for you, but I need you to keep your cool in there. Anything you say or do right now could complicate things. Complicate what things? Adam's voice was dangerously calm. The case we're building. Shane's eyes were hard. Conspiracy, attempted kidnapping, insurance fraud. If you confront her and she gets scared, she might lawyer up before we get full statements. Adam considered this. Part of him wanted to storm in and demand answers, to make Lydia face what she'd done. But a colder part apart, he rarely acknowledged knew Shane was right. Patience was key. I won't lose my cool, Adam promised. But I need answers. Shane nodded. Just don't push too hard. Adam entered the room alone. Lydia's eyes fluttered open at the sound of the door, widening when she saw him. Adam. Her voice was hoarse. Is Caleb okay? He'll be fine. Adam moved to the foot of her bed, maintaining distance. No thanks to you. She winced. It wasn't supposed to happen like this. How is it supposed to happen, Lydia? His voice remained level, betraying none of the rage boiling inside him. You and Trent run off with my son, cash in on my life insurance after framing me for abuse? Was that the plan? Fear flashed across her face. Who told you that? Does it matter? It's true, isn't it? She looked away, tears welling. You don't understand. I felt trapped, so divorce me. Adam's hands gripped the bed rail. Take your half and go. Why the elaborate scheme? Because I wanted Caleb. The words burst from her. And I knew you'd fight for him. You're the perfect father, the man everyone in town respects. What chance would I have? Adam stared at her, this stranger wearing his wife's face. So you were going to destroy me? Have me arrested? Maybe kill. No. The insurance was Trent's idea. She attempted to sit up, wincing in pain. I just wanted a fresh start with Caleb. With my brother. The words tasted like ash. Lydia had the decency to look ashamed. It just happened, Adam. Trent understands me. He wants the same things I do. And what's that? More than this. She gestured weakly around her. More than Bishop Falls and its dead-end jobs and gossip and judgment. I was drowning here, so you decided to push me under instead. Adam shook his head, disgust overtaking anger. How long? She blinked. What? How long have you been sleeping with my brother? Planning this. Lydia swallowed hard. The affair, almost a year. The plan, 3 months. But it changed. It evolved into attempted murder. No, her eyes widened. I never wanted to hurt you. Just get away. Adam laughed, a hollow sound. With my son, my money, my life in ruins. He straightened, stepping back from the bed. You've lost the right to call yourself Caleb's mother. Fear crossed her face. What does that mean? It means I'm filing for divorce and full custody. It means you'll be lucky if you don't go to prison. You can't do this. Panic edged her voice. I'm his mother. You were going to use him as a pawn in your sick game. Adam moved to the door. Mothers don't do that. Adam, please. She was crying now, genuine tears. I made a mistake. We can work this out. He paused, hand on the doorknob. The worst part isn't the betrayal, Lydia. It's that you dragged our son into it. That's unforgivable. He left without looking back, her sobs following him into the hallway where Shane waited. Trent's awake, the deputy said quietly. They're holding off on the transfer to Portland until you see him. Adam nodded, his face a mask of control. Inside, something had shifted, hardened. The brother he'd grown up with, competed with, resented but still loved, had tried to destroy him. Some betrayals cut too deep for forgiveness. Trent's room was in the ICU. His face was swollen, head bandaged, machines beeping steadily around him. He looked small suddenly, diminished by the hospital gown and tubes. His eyes focused on Adam as he entered. "Come to gloat." The words were slurred. "Come for the truth," Adam replied, staying near the door. "Though I doubt you'd recognize it. Always so self-righteous." Trent tried to shift in the bed, grimacing in pain. The perfect Adam. Dad's second favorite, but everyone else's golden boy. Is that what this was about? Some twisted childhood grudge. This was about getting what I deserved. Trent's voice strengthened with anger. "I've watched you coast through life with everything handed to you." "Handed to me?" Adam's control slipped. "I worked 12-hour shifts at that mill, while you've never held a real job in your life. Because Dad set you up with that job. Because you married the prettiest girl in town before I could even get a shot at her. Because you have a son and a house, and everyone's respect without even trying." The delusion in his brother's words stunned Adam. "You really believe that?" "I know it." Trent's breath came in short gasps. "So yeah, when Lydia came to me crying about how unhappy she was, how trapped she felt, I saw my chance. My chance to finally get something you had. By stealing my wife and son? By framing me for abuse? By giving them something better than you ever could." Trent's expression twisted with malice. Lydia was so easy to convince. She's been looking for a way out for years. Adam stepped closer, voice dropping dangerously low. "And the life insurance? The brake tampering? That was giving them something better." Trent's eyes widened fractionally. "The police can't prove anything about the brakes. But I know. And you know." Adam leaned over the bed. "You were willing to kill me, your own brother, for what? Money? Revenge? It wasn't supposed to go that far." Trent looked away. Lydia pushed for more security. "She was afraid you'd come after us." A bitter laugh escaped him. "Ironic that my own plan nearly killed me instead." Adam straightened, seeing his brother clearly for the first time. The jealousy, the pettiness, the void where loyalty should have been had always been there, masked by Trent's charm. "You won't get away with this," Adam said quietly. "Won't I?" Trent's smile was ghastly through his swollen face. "It's my word against yours. Who's going to believe you over a critically injured man? I'll say you threatened me, that I was trying to help Lydia escape your abuse. Caleb knows the truth. The police found your text messages. Marlene Pike will flip on you to save herself." Adam moved to the door. "You're done, Trent. You tried to destroy me, but you've only destroyed yourself." As Adam turned to leave, Trent called after him, desperation in his voice. "She never loved you. She was settling for you from the beginning." Adam paused, not turning back. "Maybe, but Caleb loves me, and he's the only one who matters now." In the hallway, Shane waited with Dr. Evans. "How'd it go?" the deputy asked. "About as expected." Adam felt hollow, wrung out. He admitted everything but the brake tampering. Shane nodded. "We'll get him on that too. Forensics is already processing the vehicle." "Mr. Harwood," Dr. Evans interjected, "your son is asking for you again. He's getting agitated." Adam nodded, grateful for an escape from the toxic presence of his wife and brother. "I'm coming." "Is he clear to go home?" "We'd like to keep him overnight for observation, but he should be discharged tomorrow morning." "I'll stay with him." Adam turned to Shane. "Let me know what happens with those two." "Will do." Shane hesitated. "Adam, for what it's worth, I'm sorry. Nobody deserves this kind of betrayal." Adam nodded, unable to form words around the lump in his throat. Then he headed back to Caleb's room, to the one family member who hadn't betrayed him who still needed him. Adam sat in a straight-back chair beside Caleb's hospital bed, watching the gentle rise and fall of his son's chest. The morning sun slanted through Venetian blinds, casting striped shadows across the room. His phone vibrated. "Shane, how's the boy?" the deputy asked when Adam answered. "Sleeping. Doctor says we can leave this afternoon." "Good." Shane paused. "Thought you should know, we just booked Marlene Pike on conspiracy charges." She folded like wet cardboard, confirmed everything. The insurance policy, the abuse allegations, all of it. "And Lydia, being discharged tomorrow. We'll arrest her then." Another pause. "Trent's transfer to Portland is happening this morning. State police will handle him." Adam rubbed his eyes. "What happens next?" "Court dates. Trials. It's going to get messy, Adam." The DA wants to talk to you today, if you're up for it. I'll be there. Adam watched Caleb stir in his sleep. Thanks, Shane. There's something else. Shane's voice dropped. Words getting out. Small town, you know. People are asking questions. Adam hadn't considered that aspect, yet the public humiliation waiting beyond the hospital walls. Everyone in Bishop Falls would know soon. If they didn't already, that a soft knock drew his attention. Rachel Pike stood in the doorway, hesitant. Is this a bad time? She asked quietly. Adam gestured her in, surprised by her presence. How did you know we were here? Small town. She set a paper bag on the table. I brought breakfast. Real food, not hospital stuff. Her eyes moved to Caleb, then back to Adam. I heard what happened. What my sister was involved in. Adam nodded, unsure what to say. Marlene was Rachel's blood, after all. I'm sorry, Rachel continued, voice barely above a whisper. What they try to do to you, it's unforgivable. Not your fault. Still, she glanced at her hands. I knew something was off. Marlene was always whispering with Lydia, going quiet when I came around. I should have said something. Would it have made a difference? Maybe not. Rachel met his eyes. How's Caleb taking it? He doesn't know everything yet, just that there was an accident. She nodded, understanding. If you need anything, someone to watch him, a meal, whatever, I'm here. Thanks. Adam meant it, touched by the offer amid the betrayal of so many others. The sound of movement from the bed interrupted them. Caleb stirred, eyes blinking open. Dad, right here, buddy. Adam moved to the bedside. Look who came to visit. Caleb focused on Rachel. Hi, Miss Rachel. Hey, champ. She smiled warmly. Brought you some pancakes from the diner. Think you could eat something? Caleb nodded eagerly, and Rachel unpacked the food. Adam helped his son sit up, adjusting pillows behind him. When can I see Mom? Caleb asked between bites. Adam exchanged a glance with Rachel. Not today, bud. She's still recovering. Is she in trouble? I heard the nurses talking. Adam sighed. How much could a 9-year-old understand? How much should he know? Your mom made some bad choices, he said carefully. She and Uncle Trent did things that hurt people. There are consequences for that. Like when I broke Mrs. Miller's window and had to do chores to pay for it. Something like that, but more serious. Adam smoothed his son's hair. The police are involved. Caleb's eyes widened. Is Mom going to jail? I don't know yet. Adam couldn't lie to him. Maybe. There's going to be a trial first. Because she tried to take me away. That's part of it. Caleb was quiet for a moment, processing. I don't want to see her, he said finally. She lied to me. Adam's heart broke for his son, forced to face adult betrayals too young. You don't have to see her if you don't want to. I'm staying with you, right? Forever. Forever. Adam pulled him close. Nothing will change that. That night, after Caleb was asleep, Adam sat in the dark living room. Lydia's presence lingered in the decor she'd chosen, the photos on the walls, the faint scent of her perfume. The doorbell rang. Adam opened it to find Deputy Shane and a woman in a suit he didn't recognize. Adam, this is District Attorney Morales, Shane introduced. She needs to talk to you about the case. Adam let them in, offering coffee, which they declined. In the living room, DA Morales wasted no time. We've got solid evidence against all 3 conspirators, she began, opening a folder. Text messages, bank records, witness statements. But to make the charges stick, we need your statement and Caleb's. Adam glanced toward the stairs. My son's been through enough. I understand that, Morales said, her tone softening slightly. But his testimony could be crucial, especially regarding what he overheard in the car before the crash. The intent to defraud, the life insurance discussion. He's 9. Children testify in court all the time, Mr. Harwood. We'd make it as gentle as possible. Adam's jaw tightened. I'll give you whatever statement you need. But Caleb doesn't testify unless absolutely necessary. Shane interjected. Melissa, let's focus on Adam's statement today. We can discuss Caleb's involvement later. The DA conceded with a nod, launching into questions about Adam's marriage, Trent's relationship with the family, when he first noticed changes in Lydia's behavior. For an hour, Adam relived every painful detail, from Caleb's comment about seeing Lydia and Trent together to the moment he learned of their betrayal in the hospital. One last thing, Morales said as they wrapped up. Lydia is being discharged and arrested tomorrow. She's already working with a lawyer who's making noises about a plea deal. What kind of deal? Reduced charges in exchange for testimony against your brother and Marlene Pike. Painting herself as manipulated by them. Anger flared in Adam's chest. That's bullshit. She was the one who wanted to take my son. I know. The DA closed her folder. I'm not inclined to offer much, but you should be prepared. Her lawyer will try to spin this, maybe even revive the abuse allegations despite our evidence to the contrary. Let them try, Adam said coldly. Everyone in this town knows who I am. Later that night, Adam opened Lydia's laptop, which had been left behind in their rush to leave town. The password prompt mocked him. He tried her birthday. Nothing. Their anniversary. Nothing. Caleb's birthday. Still locked. Frustrated, he was about to close it when a thought struck him. He typed Trent and Lydia, and the screen unlocked. His stomach churned at the confirmation of their affair being the password to her private life. But worse revelations awaited in her email, which opened automatically. Messages between Lydia and Trent dating back over a year. Plans, dreams, declarations of love, and promises of a future together. Discussions of how to handle Adam, how to break him down, make him appear unstable, document evidence of abuse that never happened, and emails to Simon Vickery discussing a business opportunity involving property that Adam owned through his parents' estate property Vickery had tried to buy for years. Adam read until his eyes burned, until the betrayal had clawed open every scar and vulnerability he possessed. Then he copied everything to a USB drive and closed the laptop. Tomorrow, he would take this evidence to Shane and the DA. Tonight, he would let himself feel the full measure of his wife's treachery, the years of lies, the calculated manipulation, the cold-blooded plot against him. In the darkness of his kitchen, Adam Harwood made a silent vow. He would protect Caleb from the fallout. He would rebuild their lives. And he would ensure that everyone involved in this conspiracy faced justice. Not for revenge, though the desire burned in his veins, but for the simple, cold truth that actions have consequences. And betrayal of this magnitude demanded nothing less than complete and utter destruction of those responsible. Adam woke to the sound of his phone ringing. The bedside clock read 6:17 a.m., barely dawn. He fumbled for the device, seeing Mike's name on the display. Hello. His voice was rough with sleep. Adam. Mike sounded tense. Don't come into town today if you can avoid it. Adam sat up, instantly alert. Why? What's happening? Lydia is being discharged and arrested this morning. But her lawyer's there with a camera crew from the Portland news station. They're setting up some kind of statement. Cold dread settled in Adam's stomach. What kind of statement? I don't know details. But Marlene's brother-in-law works at the hospital. Says Lydia's been crying to nurses about escaping an abusive marriage. Mike's disgust was evident. It's bullshit, but they're going to make a scene for the cameras. Thanks for the warning. Adam's mind raced. I need to get Caleb to school. Maybe keep him home today. Words spreading fast. Adam decided not to tell Caleb about the impending media circus. Better to maintain normalcy, shield him from the coming chaos as much as possible. They spent the morning playing board games, an island of calm before the tempest. BY afternoon, Adam turned on the local news, unable to resist knowing what was happening. A reporter stood outside Bishop Falls Medical Center discussing breaking developments in the Harwood case. The crawler at the bottom read, Local woman claims abuse led to desperate escape attempt. Adam's phone buzzed with a text from Shane. Don't watch the news. It's all lies. We're handling it. Too late. The screen now showed Lydia being wheeled out of the hospital, looking fragile and tearful. A lawyer Adam didn't recognize stood beside her, addressing reporters. My client has been the victim of ongoing emotional and financial abuse, the man declared. The events of this week represent a desperate attempt to escape an untenable situation with her child. We will be cooperating fully with authorities to ensure Mrs. Harwood's side of this story is heard. The camera zoomed in on Lydia's face as she dabbed at tears. I just want my son back, she whispered, playing perfectly to the audience. I'm afraid for him. Adam turned off the TV, rage building in his chest. After everything she'd done the affair, the plot to frame him. Using Caleb as a pawn, she still had the audacity to play the victim. His phone rang again. The Mills HR department, asking if he'd seen the news and requesting he stay away until things settled down. Though phrased as concern for his well-being, the subtext was clear. The company wanted distance from the scandal. That'd be why the time Caleb came downstairs. 3 more calls had come in. Caleb's school principal, the baseball coach, and Rachel, all warning about the media circus developing. "Dad, are people saying bad things about you?" Caleb asked, his perception uncanny. Adam crouched to his son's level. "So might be. Your mom is telling some lies to try to stay out of trouble." "Why would she do that?" "Sometimes when people do something wrong, they'll say anything to avoid consequences." Adam chose his words carefully. "But the truth always comes out eventually." Caleb thought about this. "I could tell people the truth. That mom and Uncle Trent were the bad ones." Adam's heart swelled with love for his son's loyalty, even as he shook his head. "That's not your job, buddy. The police and the courts will figure it out. Our job is to keep living our lives." 2 nights later, Adam sat in the county courthouse, waiting for a town meeting called to address the Harwood situation. The room was standing room only. Some faces showed sympathy, others suspicion. Many simply looked curious, eager for the next act in Bishop Falls' biggest scandal in decades. Mayor Wilson called the meeting to order. "We're here to address the disturbing situations involving the Harwood family and the impact on our community. Reports in the media have raised serious concerns." DA Morales stood. "With respect, Mayor, what we have are unsubstantiated allegations being used to distract from very real criminal acts. I'd like to present the facts as we know them." For the next 20 minutes, Morales laid out the evidence. The text messages planning Adam's ruination, bank records showing the life insurance policy and payments to Marlene, witness statements confirming the conspiracy. She was clinical, thorough, and devastating to Lydia's narrative. "We have no evidence, zero, supporting claims of abuse," she concluded. "What we do have is clear evidence of conspiracy, fraud, and attempted kidnapping. Those are the charges we're pursuing." Mayor Wilson looked uncomfortable. "Thank you for that clarification, District Attorney. I believe Mrs. Harwood's attorney requested time to speak. My client is not present to defend herself." The slick-suited lawyer from the news broadcast stood. "She's still recovering from injuries sustained while fleeing a dangerous situation. Injuries sustained when her lover tampered with the brakes in a staged accident," Morales countered. "An accident that endangered a child." Murmurs rippled through the crowd. The lawyer pressed on. "We have documented evidence of Mrs. Harwood's fear. Statements from friends. From Marlene Pike, who's already confessed to her role in the conspiracy." Morales interrupted. "Your evidence consists of statements from people who stood to gain financially from framing Adam Harwood. If I may speak." Adam's voice cut through the back and forth, steady and clear. All eyes turned to him as he stood. "I've lived in Bishop Falls my entire life. Most of you know me. You know how I live, how I work, how I raise my son." He surveyed the room, meeting stares directly. "I won't stand here and defend myself against lies. I don't need to. The truth will come out in court." He turned to Lydia's lawyer. "Tell your client that I'll see her there. And tell her that no matter what story she spins, she will never have access to my son again." A hush fell over the room. Then, from the back, Mike stood up. "Adam Harwood is the most honest man I know. Anyone claiming otherwise is either lying or doesn't know him." Others began, standing neighbors, co-workers, even Caleb's teachers. Not everyone, but enough. Enough to demonstrate that Bishop Falls hadn't completely turned against him. Lydia's lawyer, sensing the shift in the room, gathered his papers. "This town meeting has clearly been orchestrated to prejudice potential jurors. We'll address this in court." Outside, the news crews waited. Adam walked past them without comment, ignoring shouted questions about Lydia's allegations. Rachel stood by her car in the parking lot. "How did it go?" she asked as he approached. "About as expected." Lydia's lawyer tried to push the abuse narrative. Morales shut him down with evidence. "Some people took sides. Your side, I hope." "Mostly." Adam leaned against her car, suddenly exhausted. "This is just the beginning, isn't it? The divorce, the custody battle, the criminal trial. It's going to drag on for months. Rachel placed a hand on his arm. You don't have to face it alone. The gesture was simple but comforting. In the midst of betrayal, a reminder that not everyone was against him. That night, Adam sat at his kitchen table and opened his laptop. It was time to start gathering his own evidence, not just for the criminal case against Lydia and Trent, but for the custody battle that would surely follow. If they wanted war, they would learn what happened when a quiet, patient man was pushed too far. For the next 2 weeks, Adam established a new routine with Caleb. The stability helped them both adjust to life without Lydia. Meanwhile, Adam worked methodically to build his case. The USB drive from Lydia's laptop had yielded a trove of incriminating evidence, which he'd handed over to DA Morales. But Adam kept copies, creating a detailed timeline of the conspiracy against him. On a rainy Tuesday morning after dropping Caleb at school, Adam met with his lawyer, Caroline Winters, in her modest office downtown. The good news, Caroline began, is that the evidence against Lydia is substantial. The bad news is custody battles are rarely simple, even with damning evidence. She tried to kidnap him, Adam pointed out. She involved him in a plot that could have killed me. I know, and that's powerful. But courts have a bias toward maintaining relationships with both parents when possible. Caroline removed her glasses. Lydia's lawyer is pushing the narrative that she was manipulated by your brother, that she's a victim who made a terrible mistake. People don't make mistakes that involve life insurance fraud and staged accidents, Adam said flatly. I agree, but we need to be thorough. Caroline opened a folder. I need you to document every conversation with Caleb about what happened, every text or email from Lydia, every interaction with Trent leading up to the incident. Adam nodded. I've already started a timeline, and I have a secret weapon. He pulled out his phone, opening a recording app. Caleb's bedroom. Lydia installed a nanny cam when he was 3. She forgot about it, but I didn't. He pressed play. Lydia and Trent's voices filled the room. When do we do it? Trent asked. Next week, when Adam's on night shift, Lydia replied. The life insurance policy has a 30-day waiting period before it's active. That'll be up on Tuesday. And you've got everything ready for Caleb? Yes. I told him we're just going on a special trip. He doesn't need to know more until we're settled. What about the abuse documentation? Marlene has the photos ready. She'll testify she saw the bruises. A pause. Adam will never know what hit him. Adam stopped the recording. There's more. Hours of them planning how to destroy me while standing in my son's bedroom. Caroline looked stunned. This is extremely compelling. Is it legal to record them without consent? In Oregon, one-party consent is enough for recording. The nanny cam is registered to me in my house with a warning sticker on Caleb's door about video monitoring. Adam had researched this thoroughly. It's admissible. This changes everything. Caroline made notes rapidly. With this and the other evidence, we have a strong case for full custody with no visitation. That's what I want. She doesn't deserve to see him again. After leaving Caroline's office, Adam drove to the diner where Rachel worked. The lunch rush was just beginning, but she spotted him and signaled 5 minutes with her fingers. Adam took a booth in the corner, reviewing his notes while waiting. Rachel slid into the seat across from him, coffee pot in hand. You look like you could use this. She filled his mug. How'd it go with the lawyer? Better than expected. Adam sipped the coffee gratefully. We've got strong evidence for the custody case. Good. She glanced around before leaning closer. I heard something you should know. Trent's back in town. Adam tensed. He was transferred to Portland. He was. But apparently he's recovered enough for release. Limited mobility, but not hospital-bound anymore. Rachel frowned. He's staying with Simon Vickery. The connection again, Trent and Vickery. Adam had been gathering information on that relationship. Any idea why Vickery's harboring him? No, but it can't be good. Rachel hesitated. There's more. Marlene called me last night from jail. She was scared. Said Vickery's been sending messages through his lawyer that she needs to keep her mouth shut. About what? She wouldn't say. Just that it goes deeper than you think. Rachel shook her head. I've never heard my sister sound that frightened. Adam nodded, his mind racing. The conspiracy might be larger than he'd initially thought. Vickery had resources, connections, influence in Bishop Falls that extended beyond legal channels that on impulse, Adam paid his bill and drove to the county records office. The clerk, a former classmate named Judy, greeted him warmly. "What brings you in, Adam?" "Escaping the rain." "Research." He kept his tone casual. "I'm looking into property record for the old Harwood farm on County Road 16. Adam had inherited it jointly with Trent when their parents died 5 years ago. 120 acres of mostly overgrown fields and woods, with a dilapidated farmhouse and barn. After an hour of searching records, Adam found a proposal filed with the County Planning Commission 6 months ago. A plan to rezone the entire area from agricultural to commercial/residential, allowing for a new housing development and shopping center. The proposal came from Vickery Holdings LLC. If approved, land values in the area would skyrocket. The Harwood farm, strategically located with road frontage, will be worth millions instead of thousands. And Adam owned half of it. "Find what you were looking for?" Judy asked as he prepared to leave. "More than I expected," Adam replied. "Has anyone else been researching this property lately?" Judy thought for a moment. "Now that you mention it, your brother was in about 8 months ago, asking similar questions. And one of Simon Vickery's assistants comes in regularly to check on zoning proposals." Another piece of the puzzle fell into place. The plot against Adam wasn't just about Lydia's desire to escape or Trent's jealousy, it was about money. If Adam were discredited, imprisoned, or dead, control of his half of the farm would go to Lydia and eventually Trent. Adam left the records office with a clearer understanding of what he was up against. This wasn't just a bitter divorce and custody battle. It was a fight against people willing to destroy him for profit that a knock at the door interrupted his thoughts later that evening. Deputy Shane stood on the porch, expression grim. "You've heard Trent's back?" Shane asked as Adam let him in. "Word travels fast in Bishop Falls." Adam led him to the kitchen. "Coffee? No thanks." Shane noticed the papers spread across the table. "What's all this?" "Research." Adam briefly explained his findings about the farm and rezoning proposal. Shane whistled low. "That adds a new dimension. Greed's a powerful motivator. It explains why Vickery's involved. But why would Trent and Lydia go to such extremes? They could have just asked me to sell my half." "Would you have?" Adam considered this. "Probably not. That land's been in my family for generations. I was planning to fix up the old house someday. Maybe move out there with Caleb." "There's your answer." Shane tapped the proposal documents. "This development would net them millions, but only if they control the entire property. Your refusal would cost them fortunes. So they decided to remove me from the equation." Adam's voice was cold, either through false imprisonment or death. "Looks that way." Shane leaned back. "The reason I came by, we've been monitoring Trent since his return. He met with Lydia's lawyer today." Adam's stomach tightened. "What are they planning now?" "Not sure, but there's a preliminary hearing for Lydia tomorrow. Her lawyers requested she be released on bail pending trial." Shane met Adam's eyes directly. "I think they're going to make another play for Caleb." "How?" "There's a restraining order." "Legally, yes. But if they're desperate enough." Shane let the implication hang. Adam stood abruptly. "I need to increase security. Cameras, better locks." "Already on it." Shane pulled out his phone, showing Adam an app. "I took the liberty of having a patrol car drive by every hour. And this app connects directly to dispatch if you hit the panic button." Adam was touched by the deputy's foresight. "Thank you. Just looking out for you and the boy." Shane stood to leave. "One more thing the DA wanted me to tell you. They've reached out to Rachel Pike about testifying. She's been recording conversations with Marlene that might help our case." After Shane left, Adam called Rachel, who confirmed she'd been helping the DA gather evidence. "Marlene talks too much when she's scared," Rachel explained. "She let slip that Vickery promised Trent a position in the new development company plus a percentage of profits. And Lydia was supposed to get a fresh start payment of $500,000. "Why are you helping me?" Adam asked suddenly. "Your sister's involved. Most people would side with family." Rachel was quiet for a moment. "Marlene stopped being family to me when she helped plot to destroy an innocent man and use a child as a pawn." Her voice softened. "Besides, I've always thought you deserved better than what Lydia gave you." The simple honesty in her voice warmed something in Adam that had been cold since the night of the accident. "Thank you," he said, meaning it deeply, "for everything." That night, after checking that Caleb was asleep, Adam made one final addition to his evidence file of video from his own phone, taken months ago at Caleb's birthday party. It showed Lydia, Trent, and Marlene in the background, heads together, whispering intently, while everyone else celebrated the time. Adam had thought nothing of it. Now, it was one more piece of evidence showing their conspiracy had been long in the planning. Tomorrow, he would deliver everything to D.A. Morales that a storm was gathering, but this time, Adam wouldn't be caught unprepared. This time, he would be the one bringing the thunder. The preliminary hearing for Lydia's case drew a small crowd to the county courthouse. Adam sat in the back row, as instructed by D.A. Morales, who wanted him present but not prominent. Lydia sat at the defense table, her lawyer beside her, looking appropriately subdued in a conservative dress that emphasized her apparent fragility. When Judge Holt entered, the proceedings began with formal charges being read: conspiracy to commit fraud, attempted kidnapping, filing false police reports. Lydia pleaded not guilty to all counts, her voice barely audible. Her lawyer requested bail, arguing that Lydia was a victim of manipulation by Trent Harwood, a man with undue influence over her, and presented no flight risk. D.A. Morales countered forcefully. "Your Honor, the defendant was actively attempting to flee the state with a minor child when the vehicle crash occurred. Text messages prove this was a planned escape, not a spontaneous act of fear. We ask that bail be denied." Judge Holt considered both arguments. Bail is set at $500,000, with electronic monitoring and surrender of passport. The defendant is prohibited from contact with a minor child or Adam Harwood. Adam watched Lydia's face fall at the high bail amount. Her lawyer immediately leaned in, whispering urgently. Adam knew what they were discussing, where to get that kind of money. Only one person in Bishop Falls had resources like that readily available: Simon Vickery. As the hearing concluded, Adam slipped out before Lydia could spot him. In the courthouse hallway, he nearly collided with a woman exiting another courtroom. "Mr. Harwood." Her crisp voice matched her appearance, expensively dressed, precisely styled hair, calculating eyes. "Amanda Reed, Mr. Vickery's attorney." Adam tensed. "Ms. Reed, your client's not here today." Mr. Vickery avoids courtrooms when possible. Her smile didn't reach her eyes. He prefers to handle matters more discreetly. "Is that a threat? An invitation?" She extended a business card. "Mr. Vickery would like to meet with you. Privately." Adam didn't take the card. "Tell your client, if he wants to talk, he can do it officially with my lawyer present. This matter wouldn't benefit from additional parties." Her voice lowered. "Mr. Vickery has information about your brother and wife that might interest you." "Nothing about them interests me anymore. Not even evidence that would guarantee your full custody of Caleb." She raised an eyebrow. "With no possibility of visitation for Lydia, ever?" That got Adam's attention. He studied her face, looking for deception. "Why would Vickery help me against his own allies?" "Because allies outlive their usefulness." Reed pressed the card into Adam's hand. "Tomorrow, 8 p.m., at his estate. Come alone, or don't come at all." She walked away, leaving Adam staring at the embossed card. A trap, almost certainly. But the possibility of evidence that would permanently remove Lydia from Caleb's life was tempting. Outside the courthouse, Rachel waited by her car. "How'd it go in there?" "Bail set at $500,000. Lydia's not going anywhere for now." Adam pocketed the business card, deciding not to mention the encounter with Reed. "Thanks for the ride. I appreciate you taking time off work. Early shift today." Rachel's smile was warm. "Besides, I wanted to check on you. This can't be easy." They drove in comfortable silence for a while. Adam gazed out the window at Bishop Falls, passing by the town where he'd spent his entire life, now forever changed by betrayal. "Adam." Rachel's voice broke into his thoughts. "You should know. There's talk about Vickery putting up Lydia's bail. People have seen his lawyer meeting with her." Adam wasn't surprised. "Makes sense. He needs her cooperation for whatever they're planning." "Which is what exactly?" "Development on my family's land." Adam explained about the rezoning proposal, the potential profit, and Vickery's need to control the entire property. Rachel absorbed this, frowning. But even if they somehow got custody of Caleb, or worse, your land would go to Caleb, not Lydia, unless there was a will stating otherwise. Adam had considered this angle. Or if I were convicted of something serious, they might leverage that for a forced sale. God, it's all so calculated. Rachel shuddered, and my sister was part of it. Not the mastermind, though. Adam found himself wanting to comfort her. Marlene was just a pawn, like Lydia. Don't make excuses for them. Rachel's voice hardened. They made their choices. After Rachel left, Adam spent the afternoon helping Caleb with homework and making dinner, trying to maintain normalcy while his mind circled the question of Vickery's invitation. After Caleb was asleep, Adam called Shane to discuss it. It's a risk, the deputy acknowledged when Adam explained. But Vickery's smart enough not to try anything obvious. He maintains a legitimate businessman image carefully. So you think I should go? I think we should use this opportunity. Shane sounded thoughtful. We're a wire. Get him talking about the conspiracy. If he offers evidence against Lydia and Trent, all the better. And if it's a setup, I'll have plainclothes officers nearby. First sign of trouble, we move in. The plan set, Adam spent the next day preparing. He arranged for Rachel to watch Caleb, telling her only that he had an important meeting. He reviewed his evidence files, memorizing key details that might be useful in confronting Vickery. At 7:45 p.m., Adam drove to Vickery's estate on the outskirts of town, a sprawling mansion set back from the road, surrounded by manicured grounds and a security fence. Shane had fitted him with a small recording device earlier, concealed under his shirt. Remember, Shane had instructed, get him talking about the land deal, about Trent and Lydia's role. If he offers evidence, get specifics. Don't threaten or accuse directly. A security guard at the gate checked Adam's ID and waved him through. At the main house, Amanda, Reed met him at the door. Mr. Vickery appreciates your coming, she said, leading him through an opulent foyer into a wood-paneled study. He'll join you shortly. Left alone, Adam took in his surroundings. Expensive artwork, leather-bound books, a desk worth more than his car. The trappings of wealth and power things Lydia had always coveted. Mr. Harwood. The voice came from behind him. Thank you for accepting my invitation. Simon Vickery was shorter than Adam expected, with silver hair and sharp eyes that missed nothing. He moved to a leather chair, gesturing for Adam to sit opposite. Let's dispense with pleasantries, Vickery began. You're here because I mentioned evidence concerning your wife. I have it, but first we should discuss your family's property on County Road 16. Adam had expected this angle. The farm isn't for sale. Everything has a price. Vickery sipped from a crystal tumbler. Yours just hasn't been met yet. It's not about price, Adam replied evenly. That land has been in my family for generations. Sentiment. Vickery waved dismissively. I'm offering 5 times market value. You could buy a much nicer property elsewhere. Set up a trust fund for your son. Why this piece of land? There's plenty of available acreage around Bishop Falls. Vickery studied him. You've done your research. You know about the rezoning proposal. Your property is the keystone to a very lucrative development. A development my brother and wife were willing to betray me for, Adam noted. With your backing, a flash of something annoyance perhaps crossed Vickery's face. Your brother approached me with a business proposition. The personal aspects of how he planned to acquire full control of the property were not my concern. But you funded it, Adam pressed. Life insurance policies, legal preparations, their planned escape. You bankrolled the whole conspiracy. I made certain investments, Vickery conceded carefully. Business arrangements with expected returns. Unfortunately, your brother proved less competent than anticipated. He tried to kill me. Adam's voice remained steady. With your money, an extreme interpretation. Vickery leaned forward, but not entirely inaccurate. Which brings me to why you're here. He opened a desk drawer and removed a USB drive. This contains recordings of meetings between myself, your brother, and your wife. Planning sessions, if you will. Discussions of how to eliminate you from the equation. Adam eyed the drive suspiciously. Why would you give me evidence that incriminates you? Because it's been edited to remove my direct involvement. Vickery's smile was cold, while clearly establishing their intent to harm you and take your child. Sufficient to ensure Lydia never gets custody or visitation rights. What do you want in exchange? Sell me your half of the property. Today, I have papers prepared. Vickery gestured to a folder on his desk. $1 million, immediate transfer. You sign, I give you the drive. Adam considered the offer. The evidence would certainly help his case against Lydia, but at what cost? And if I refuse? Vickery's expression hardened. Then I use my considerable resources to help Lydia's case instead. I fund her defense, pay for expert witnesses, finance a publicity campaign painting you as the villain. The courts favor mothers, Mr. Harwood. With enough money behind her, she could win at least partial custody. The threat hung in the air between them. Adam felt the weight of the recording device against his chest. He had Vickery admitting to funding the conspiracy. It might be enough for charges. There's a third option, Adam said finally. I take this conversation to the district attorney. Your edited recordings won't matter when they hear you admitting to financing a plot against me. Vickery chuckled, apparently unconcerned. You think you're recording this? My security team swept you in your vehicle upon arrival. And this room is electronically shielded. Adam's blood ran cold. The recording device, had they found it, disabled it somehow. Besides, Vickery continued, it would be your word against mine. A respected businessman versus a factory worker with a bitter divorce. Who do you think people will believe? The evidence can disappear as easily as it appeared. Vickery stood, circling his desk. This is your one opportunity, Harwood. Take the deal, or prepare for a very long, very public legal battle that will drain your resources and traumatize your son. Adam stood as well, unwilling to be physically dominated. I need to think about it. You have until tomorrow morning. Vickery handed him the folder with the sales contract. 8 a.m. Here, with your decision. As Reed showed Adam out, his mind raced. Had the recording device worked? Was Shane listening? And if not, what was his next move? In the car, Adam waited until he was beyond the estate gates before speaking. Shane? Did you get that? Silence. Shane? Anyone? Nothing. The device had been neutralized. Adam slammed his hand against the steering wheel in frustration. He'd lost his chance to catch Vickery red-handed. When Adam reached his house, Shane was waiting in an unmarked car. The deputy looked grim. Signal cut out the moment you entered the study. He confirmed once they were inside. Vickery's got top-of-the-line security and jamming technology. Military grade. So we got nothing. Adam paced his living room. And now I have until morning to either sell my family's land or risk losing Caleb. Not nothing. Shane held up a small device. We recorded the conversation with Reed outside the courthouse yesterday. She clearly indicated Vickery's involvement. It's not a smoking gun, but it's a start. Adam showed Shane the contract Vickery had prepared. He's offering $1 million for land worth maybe $200,000 in its current state, but worth $10 million or more once rezoned. Blood money. Shane examined the paperwork. What are you going to do? Adam stared out the window at the darkness. I don't know yet. After Shane left, Adam sat at his kitchen table, turning the problem over in his mind. Selling meant surrender, allowing Vickery to profit from the conspiracy against him. But refusing meant a protracted legal battle with Lydia, backed by Vickery's seemingly limitless resources. His phone rang just after midnight. Rachel, is everything okay? He asked immediately. Caleb, he's fine, sleeping peacefully, she assured him. But I thought you should know. Marlene called from jail again. She's terrified, said Vickery's threatening her family, meaning me, if she testifies about his involvement. Has she told the DA? Yes, but without evidence. It's just another inmate claiming threats. Rachel's voice lowered. Adam, she mentioned something else. Said Vickery keeps a safe in his study with insurance against his partners. Recordings, documents, things he could use if they ever turned on him. Adam straightened. Did she say where exactly? Behind a painting of sailing ships. Combination is his daughter's birthday, August 16th, 1994. At least it was when Marlene saw Trent open it once. She paused. Why? What are you thinking? Nothing yet, Adam lied. Just gathering information. I'll see you in the morning when I pick up Caleb. After hanging up, Adam called Shane again, outlining a daring plan. The deputy initially resisted. Breaking and entering? That's insane. Anything we find would be inadmissible. We don't need it to be admissible in court, Adam argued. We just need leverage against Vickery. His own game played back at him. It took an hour of debate before Shane reluctantly agreed, not as a law enforcement officer, but as Adam's friend. They would need to move quickly before Vickery expected Adam's return in the morning at 3 a.m. They parked half a mile from Vickery's estate. Shane had brought equipment to disable the security cameras, temporarily a skill from his time in the military before becoming a deputy. This is a one-shot deal, Shane warned as they approached through the woods behind the property. The camera loop will only work for 15 minutes. In and out, that's it. They reached the back of the mansion without incident. Shane disabled a service entrance alarm, and they slipped inside. The house was silent, most likely empty except for Vickery himself, who lived alone since his divorce years ago. They found the study, and, as Marlene had described, a painting of sailing ships adorned one wall. Behind it, a wall safe. Adam entered the combination 08161994 and held his breath. The safe clicked open. Inside were dozens of USB drives, each labeled with names. One read, Harwood/Farm Project. Adam grabbed it, along with several others that seemed relevant, including one labeled Insurance Primary. Less than 12 minutes after entering, they were gone. The alarm reset, the cameras none the wiser. Back at Adam's house, they examined the contents of the drives. The Harwood drive contained exactly what Vickery had described: recordings of meetings with Trent and Lydia, planning Adam's removal. But unlike Vickery's edited version, these included his own voice, clearly directing the conspiracy. "I want this handled permanently," Vickery said in one recording. "The insurance policy is just backup. Primary objective is making sure Adam Harwood cannot interfere with our plans for that property. And if he won't sell?" Trent's voice asked. "Then he becomes a tragic accident," Vickery replied coldly. "People die in house fires every day." The insurance drive proved even more valuable evidence of Vickery's involvement in various illegal schemes across the region. Bribery of officials, tax fraud, even threatening witnesses in previous cases. "This is dynamite," Shane whispered, stunned by the revelations. "Enough to bury Vickery for decades. And save my son," Adam added, focused on his primary goal. "We make copies of everything, then I take the originals to my meeting with Vickery. He'll know his safe was breached. Yes, but too late to stop me." Adam's expression was resolute. "I'll offer him a deal. He uses his influence to ensure Lydia loses all parental rights and stays in prison, where everything on these drives goes to the FBI and state police." "Blackmail," Shane said, but without judgment. "Justice," Adam corrected, using his own methods against him. As dawn broke, Adam prepared for his meeting. He made copies of all the evidence, leaving them with Shane for safekeeping. The deputy would wait nearby, ready to intervene if necessary. The storm was breaking, and Adam Harwood was the one controlling its direction now. Adam arrived at Vickery's estate exactly at 8 a.m., the USB drive secure in his jacket pocket. Amanda Reed met him at the door again, her professional smile never reaching her eyes. "Mr. Vickery is waiting in his study," she said, leading the way. "He's eager to conclude our business." Adam nodded, keeping his expression neutral. Inside, Vickery sat behind his massive desk, a contract laid out before him, a pen ready. "Mr. Harwood," Vickery gestured to the chair opposite. "I trust you've reviewed the terms? $1 million for your half of the property. Generous by any standard." "I've reviewed it," Adam replied, remaining standing. "I've also reviewed these." He placed the USB drives on the desk. Vickery's eyes narrowed, recognizing them immediately. His gaze darted to the painting on the wall, undisturbed, then back to Adam. "Where did you get those?" His voice remained controlled, but tension radiated from him. "Does it matter?" Adam met his stare. "What matters is what's on them. Unedited recordings of you ordering my brother to arrange my accident. Plans for arson if the brake tampering failed. Discussions of how to frame me for abuse to gain custody of my son. Adam paused. And that's just the Harwood drive. Vickery's face hardened. Whatever you think you have. I don't think. I know. Adam placed a hand on the drives. The insurance drive was particularly enlightening. Bribery of 3 county commissioners. Tax fraud schemes dating back 15 years. Threats against witnesses in the Miller case from 2018. For the first time, uncertainty flickered across Vickery's face. You're bluffing. August 16th, 1994, Adam said quietly. Your daughter's birthday. Your safe combination. I have everything, Vickery. Copies are already in secure locations. Vickery stood abruptly. What do you want? Money? Name your price. I want justice. Adam's voice was steel. But I'm willing to make a deal. You use your influence to ensure Lydia loses all parental rights. You cut off all financial support to her and Trent. You publicly withdraw the rezoning proposal for the farm area. And in return, these drives stay private. I don't go to the FBI with evidence of your criminal enterprise. Vickery studied him, recalculating. You're more ruthless than I gave you credit for, Harwood. I'm a father protecting his son. Adam placed both hands on the desk, leaning forward. I don't care about your other businesses. I don't care about the money. I care about Caleb growing up safe, away from people who would use him as a pawn. A long silence stretched between them. Finally, Vickery nodded once, sharply. Deal. I'll have papers drawn up relinquishing any claim to involvement in the Lydia Harwood case. The rezoning proposal will be withdrawn today. I'll need more than papers. Adam straightened. I need actions, starting with Lydia's bail. Consider it revoked. Vickery reached for his phone. I'll call her lawyer now. Adam watched as Vickery made the call, instructing the attorney to withdraw financial support and any further defense of Lydia Harwood, effective immediately. Satisfied? Vickery asked after hanging up. It's a start. Adam gathered the USB drives. I'll keep these as insurance of my own. If you renege on our agreement, if you make any move against me or my son, everything goes public. You've made your point. Vickery's smile was cold. Perhaps you should have been a businessman instead of a mill worker. You have the instincts for it. Adam turned to leave, then paused. One more thing. Whatever happens in court to Lydia, Trent, and Marlene happens without your interference. They face the consequences of their actions. Even your brother, especially my brother. Adam's expression was implacable. Blood means nothing when betrayal cuts that deep. Outside, Adam exhaled slowly, the tension of the confrontation leaving his body in waves. Shane waited in his car, down the road, anxiety clear on his face until Adam gave him a thumbs up through the window. It worked, Shane asked as Adam slid into the passenger seat. He folded. Adam handed over the drives. Keep copies of these somewhere safe. Our insurance policy. Shane nodded, impressed. You know, for a quiet mill worker, you've got a steel backbone, Harwood, when it matters. Adam gazed out the window as they drove away from Vickery's estate. When it's for Caleb. The next morning, headlines in a local paper announced Simon Vickery's surprise withdrawal of the controversial rezoning proposal for County Road 16. Business reporters speculated about financial concerns or environmental issues, unaware of the true reason. More significant to Adam was the call from DA Morales, informing him that Lydia's bail had been revoked due to financial circumstances changing. She would remain in custody until trial. Her lawyer also withdrew, Morales added, sounding pleased. Said something about a conflict of interest. She's been assigned a public defender who's already talking plea deal. What kind of deal? Adam asked, wary. Nothing that includes custody or visitation rights, Morales assured him. That was non-negotiable from our side, but she might get reduced prison time in exchange for testimony against Trent and Vickery. Adam considered this. Vickery has powerful friends. Will her testimony be enough? Combined with other evidence we're gathering, it might be. We're building a solid case against Trent regardless. His medical condition won't save him from prison. The next step was telling Caleb. That evening, after dinner, Adam sat with his son on the living room sofa, choosing his words carefully. Remember how I said Mom made some bad choices? He began gently. Caleb nodded, his eyes serious beyond his years. Is she going to jail? Probably yes. There's going to be a trial, but she'll likely have to spend time in prison. Because she tried to take me away and hurt you. Yes. Adam kept it simple, age-appropriate. And because she worked with Uncle Trent and other people to do those things. Caleb was quiet for a moment, processing. Well, I have to talk to the judge. Only if you want to. Adam stroked his son's hair. You don't have to do anything that makes you uncomfortable. I want to tell them what I heard in the car, Caleb said, surprising Adam with his resolve. About Mom and Uncle Trent talking about money and hurting you. It's the truth, and you always say we should tell the truth. Pride swelled in Adam's chest. That's right, buddy. We always tell the truth, even when it's hard. Will Mom be mad at me if I tell? Maybe, Adam admitted. But that doesn't make telling the truth wrong. Caleb leaned against his father's shoulder. I just want it to be over, so we can be normal again. Adam held his son close. We'll make our own normal, Caleb. You and me. 1 week after providing the FBI with Vickery's files, Adam received a call from Agent Rowe. It's happening tomorrow, the agent said, voice tense with anticipation. Multiple warrants, simultaneous raids on Vickery's home, office, and 3 other properties. We need you to stay clear of the area. What about my brother? Adam asked. He's still staying with Vickery. We're aware. He'll be taken into custody as well, pending additional charges based on evidence we've uncovered. Adam absorbed this news silently. Despite everything, a small part of him still felt the ghost of brotherly concern for Trent. Not enough to change course, but enough to acknowledge the finality of what was about to happen. Will I need to testify? He asked. Eventually, yes. But we've got enough for the initial arrest without you. Stay home. Keep your son close. We'll be in touch after the operation. Adam hung up and gazed out his kitchen window at the darkening sky. Tomorrow would bring a storm years in the making, one that would wash away the illusions of Bishop Falls and reveal the rot beneath. The next morning, Adam dropped Caleb at school, as usual, then drove to the mill for his first shift back since the accident. Mike greeted him with a firm handshake. Good to have you back, his supervisor said warmly. The place isn't the same without you. Adam nodded his thanks, grateful for the distraction of work. For hours, he lost himself in the familiar rhythm of the mill, the heat, the noise, the physical demands that left no room for brooding. It was during his lunch break that he first heard the news. Workers gathered around a small television in the break room, watching live coverage of FBI agents swarming Vickery's estate. Multiple arrests underway in what authorities are calling a major organized crime operation centered in Bishop Falls, the reporter announced. Simon Vickery, a prominent local businessman, has been taken into custody along with several associates. The camera showed Vickery being led to a federal vehicle in handcuffs, his face a mask of cold fury. Behind him, agents escorted Trent, who looked shell-shocked, his eyes darting around as if searching for escape. Holy shit, Mike whispered beside Adam. They got Vickery. Never thought I'd see the day. Adam watched silently, emotions churning beneath his calm exterior. This was justice, not revenge. He reminded himself of the distinction. Still, seeing his brother in handcuffs, facing the consequences of his betrayal, struck deeper than he'd anticipated. By afternoon, the news had spread throughout Bishop Falls. Adam's phone buzzed constantly with texts and calls from friends and acquaintances seeking details, offering support, expressing shock at the scale of the arrests. Shane called as Adam's shift ended. It's bigger than anyone expected, the deputy said, sounding exhausted but satisfied. They found evidence of bribery reaching into the state capitol, drugs hidden in a warehouse at the edge of town, financial records linking Vickery to criminal operations in 3 states, and Trent charged as an accessory to most of it, plus the original conspiracy charges related to you. He's looking at 20 years minimum. Shane paused. Vickery's already trying to cut deals, offering to implicate others, including your brother and Lydia. Let him, Adam said, surprised by the coldness in his own voice. They made their choices. After picking up Caleb from school, Adam found himself driving not home, but to the old Harwood farm. The property lay dormant, fields overgrown, the farmhouse weathered by years of neglect. He parked on a gravel drive and helped Caleb out of the truck. "What are we doing here, Dad?" Caleb asked, looking around curiously. "Just visiting." Adam took his son's hand. "This land belonged to your great-grandparents and their parents before them. Someday it'll be yours." They walked together through high grass toward the old house. Despite its disrepair, the structure remained solid, built to withstand generations of harsh weather and changing fortunes. "Could we live here?" Caleb asked, peering through a dusty window. "Maybe someday." Adam studied the farmhouse with new eyes, seeing not what it was but what it could be. "Would you like that?" Caleb nodded enthusiastically. "We could have a dog. And maybe horses." Adam laughed, the sound surprising him. When had he last truly laughed? "We'll see about the horses. But a dog seems doable." As the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the field, Adam felt a sense of peace settle over him. The property that had been at the center of so much pain might yet become something good, a fresh start, built on honest ground. His phone rang again. "Rachel, have you seen the news?" she asked when he answered. "I saw. It's all happening fast. Are you okay?" "This can't be easy, seeing Trent arrested like that." Adam watched Caleb exploring the yard, carefree in the golden evening light. "I'm better than okay. For the first time in months, I feel like we can move forward." "I'm glad." Her voice softened. "Marlene called from jail. She's cooperating fully now. Tells me she's relieved it's all coming out. Said she's ready to face whatever punishment comes." "That's good to hear." Adam meant it. Accountability was the first step toward whatever redemption might be possible. "Adam," Rachel hesitated. "I know this isn't the right time, but when things settle down, maybe we could have dinner sometime? Just to talk." The invitation hung in the air, unexpected but not unwelcome. Adam thought of how Rachel had stood by him through the worst of the scandal, how she'd helped care for Caleb, how her steady presence had been a lifeline when everything else was chaos. "I like that," he said finally. "When things settle down." 3 months passed in a blur of legal proceedings, media coverage, and gradual healing. Bishop Falls buzzed with revelations from the Vickery case, respected community members implicated in corruption, hidden criminal enterprises exposed, decades of manipulation laid bare. Through it all, Adam focused on rebuilding life with Caleb. They established new routines, found moments of joy amid the ongoing storm. Caleb returned to baseball, Adam to regular shifts at the mill. Slowly, the whispers and stares in town diminished, replaced by respect for how Adam had handled himself through the ordeal. That on a crisp fall morning, Adam sat in the county courthouse, waiting for Lydia's plea hearing to begin. Caroline Winters sat beside him, reviewing documents. "She's accepting the deal," Caroline confirmed. "Guilty plea to conspiracy and attempted kidnapping. 5 to 7 years, with the understanding that she relinquishes all parental rights to Caleb." Adam nodded, his expression giving nothing away. "And there's no chance this gets overturned later?" "She can't change her mind when she's served her time. The termination of parental rights is permanent and separate from the criminal sentencing. Once finalized by the family court judge, which should happen next week, it's done." Caroline closed her folder. "Caleb will legally be yours alone, as if Lydia never existed." The courtroom doors opened, and Lydia entered, escorted by officers. She looked thinner, her once perfect appearance now subdued in prison-issued clothing. Her eyes found Adam immediately, pleading silently for something: forgiveness, understanding, mercy. He met her gaze steadily, offering nothing. The hearing proceeded with formal efficiency. Charges read, plea entered, sentencing recommendations presented. When asked if she wished to make a statement, Lydia stood shakily. "I want to apologize," she began, voice barely audible. "To my son, for putting him in danger. To my husband." She faltered as Adam's expression remained impassive. "To Adam, for betraying the life we built. I was selfish, greedy for things that didn't matter." She continued, words spilling out about regret and poor choices, about being manipulated by Trent and Vickery, but accepting responsibility for her own actions. Through it all, Adam sat motionless, listening without reaction. When she finished, The judge asked if any victims wished to speak. Adam declined. What was there to say? Her actions had spoken volumes. His silence now was answer enough. Sentence pronounced, Lydia was led away. She glanced back once, tears streaming down her face. Adam watched her go, feeling nothing but a cold finality. The woman he had married, the mother of his child, was dead to him now, a ghost already fading from memory. 2 weeks later. A similar scene played out in federal court as Marlene Pike accepted her own plea deal. 3 years for her role in the conspiracy, with the possibility of parole after 18 months. Her testimony against Vickery had earned her leniency that neither Lydia nor Trent would receive. That Trent's trial began in early winter, drawing national media attention. The combination of family betrayal, attempted murder, and connections to Vickery's criminal enterprise made for irresistible headlines. Adam was called to testify, recounting the events leading to the accident, the evidence he'd discovered afterward, and the devastating realization of his brother's betrayal. Throughout his testimony, Adam never looked directly at Trent, seated at the defense table. He spoke clearly, factually, without emotion. Only when asked about Caleb's role in the events did Adam's composure slip slightly, his voice tightening as he described his son's trauma. When Trent took the stand in his own defense, Adam finally looked directly at him. Their eyes met across the courtroom, and Adam saw something unexpected in his brother's face, not remorse or shame, but naked fear. Trent was terrified of what was coming, of the years stretching ahead behind bars. Good, Adam thought, the coldness in his heart solidifying. Let him be afraid. Let him live with that fear every day, just as he'd planned for Adam to live with the false accusations of abuse, with the loss of his son, with the destruction of his reputation. That Trent's testimony was a disaster for his case. He attempted to minimize his role, blame Vickery for coercion, suggest that his injuries had affected his memory. But under the prosecutor's skilled questioning, his story unraveled. Text messages and recorded conversations exposed the depth of his planning, the callousness with which he'd plotted against his own brother. The jury deliberated less than 6 hours before returning with a guilty verdict on all counts. The judge, citing the calculated cruelty of Trent's crimes, sentenced him to 25 years in federal prison with no possibility of parole for at least 20. As Trent was led away, he called out, "Adam, please." Adam stood and walked out of the courtroom. Never looking back. 6 months later, spring had transformed Bishop Falls. Trees budded, flowers pushed through softening earth, and the Harwood farm hummed with activity. Construction crews worked steadily on the old farmhouse, gutting the interior while preserving its historic charm. A new foundation had been poured, plumbing and electrical systems modernized, windows replaced. Adam stood on what would eventually be the front porch, reviewing blueprints with the contractor. The renovation had become his focus in the aftermath of the trials, a tangible project representing their fresh start. "We're ahead of schedule," the contractor noted, pointing to the framing for the new kitchen addition. "Should be ready for move-in by late summer, if the weather holds." Adam nodded, satisfaction warming his chest. That works perfectly with Caleb's school schedule. From a yard came shouts of laughter. Caleb and 2 friends chased a golden retriever puppy, Max, a recent addition to their family that had instantly captured Caleb's heart. Rachel sat on a blanket nearby, supervising while grading papers from her new teaching position at the elementary school. The scene was so normal, so wholesome that sometimes Adam had to remind himself of the path that had led here. The betrayals, the courtroom battles, the public scandal, all now fading into history as life moved forward. Finishing with the contractor, Adam joined Rachel on the blanket. She smiled up at him, shielding her eyes from the sun. "The house is looking great," she observed. "Caleb talks about moving here nonstop. Just a few more months." Adam settled beside her. "You'll have to help us decorate. I'm hopeless with that stuff." "I'd love to." She leaned against him slightly, their shoulders touching. The casual intimacy felt right, earned through months of careful steps forward. "I got another letter from Lydia yesterday," he said after a moment. "Third one this month." Rachel tensed slightly. "Are you going to read it?" "No." Adam's response was immediate. "Same as all the others. Whatever she wants to say, I'm not interested. In the yard, Caleb had organized his friends into a makeshift baseball diamond, using Max's toys as bases. His confident instructions and encouragement to the smaller children showcased his growing maturity. "He's so much like you," Rachel observed. "That quiet leadership, the way he looks out for others." Adam smiled. "Better than me. He got all my good qualities and none of the rough edges." "I don't know." Rachel bumped his shoulder playfully. "Some of those rough edges are rather appealing." The easy banter felt like a gift after months of grief and anger. Adam had never expected to find lightness again, certainly not with someone who understood the darkness he'd faced. Later, after Caleb's friends were picked up and dinner was shared on improvised picnic tables outside the half-finished house, the three of them walked the property boundaries. Max bounded ahead, occasionally returning to check on his humans before racing off again. "When we move in," Caleb announced, "I want to plant an apple tree right there." He pointed to a sunny spot near what would be the driveway. "And maybe someday we can get chickens. One step at a time." Adam laughed. "Let's get the house finished first." As the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the fields that would soon be their home, Adam felt a sense of completion that had nothing to do with the construction project. This moment with his son racing ahead and Rachel beside him was what healing looked like. Not the absence of pain, but the presence of new joy built atop the ashes of what had been destroyed. They dropped Rachel at her apartment in town, Caleb giving her an enthusiastic hug goodbye. Adam walked her to the door, lingering a moment. "Thank you for today," he said quietly. "For everything, really. No thanks needed." She touched his face gently. "See you tomorrow for the baseball game? Wouldn't miss it." He kissed her softly before returning to the truck, where Caleb waited tea home. After Caleb's bedtime routine was complete, Adam sat on the edge of his bed for their nightly talk. "Dad," Caleb's voice was serious in the dim room. "After everything that happened with Mom and Uncle Trent, are we going to be okay?" Adam stroked his son's hair. "We already are okay, buddy. Better than okay. And Rachel too, maybe." Caleb's eyes were hopeful. "Maybe," Adam agreed softly. "We'll see where that goes." "I hope she stays," Caleb murmured, eyes closing. "She makes things brighter." "She does," Adam whispered, though his son was already asleep. Downstairs, Adam poured himself a small measure of whiskey and stepped onto the back porch. The night was clear, stars brilliant above Bishop Falls. He sipped slowly, reflecting on the journey of the past year. The betrayal had nearly destroyed him. The conspiracy had targeted everything he valued: his reputation, his freedom, his relationship with his son. Lydia, Trent, Marlene, and Vickery had plotted his ruination for their own gain, disregarding the damage they would cause with clinical detachment, the IN response. Adam had been equally methodical, not vengeful, but relentless in his pursuit of justice and protection for Caleb. He had shown no mercy, offered no forgiveness, given no second chances to those who had betrayed him so completely. Some might call that hard, even cruel. Adam considered it necessary. True loyalty couldn't be partial, it was absolute, or it was meaningless. The same applied to betrayal. Once that line was crossed, there was no return. His phone buzzed with a text from Rachel, just checking in. "You okay after today?" Adam smiled slightly. She always seemed to sense when his thoughts turned dark. "Better than okay," he replied. "Looking forward to tomorrow," and he was. For the first time in longer than he could remember, Adam Harwood was genuinely looking forward to the future, a future built on honest ground, with people who had earned his trust. That a week later, in the family court judge's chambers, the final legal chapter of Lydia's relationship with Caleb was officially closed. The termination of parental rights was approved, permanent and irrevocable. Lydia, attending via video link from prison, wept silently throughout the proceedings. Adam felt nothing watching her tears. Whatever they had once meant to each other was ashes now, cold and scattered beyond recovery. Outside the courthouse, Caleb waited with Rachel. The boy ran to his father as Adam emerged, face questioning. "It's done," Adam said simply, placing a hand on his son's shoulder. "Just you and me now, officially." Caleb nodded solemnly, then broke into a smile. "Can we go see the house? I want to show Rachel where my new room will be." "Sure thing." Adam ruffled his hair. Race you to the truck. As Caleb darted ahead, Rachel fell in a step beside Adam. How do you feel? She asked. Adam considered the question, searching for the right words. Like we've finally turned the page, he said after a moment. The old story's finished. Time to write a new one. I like the sound of that. She took his hand as they walked toward the future, leaving the silent ashes of betrayal behind them, unvisited and unforgiven.